Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Campbell, it was reported that Mr. Sarandos met with President Trump on November 24th and discussed Netflix bid to buy Warner Brothers at length. When Discovery acquired the Warner Media assets from AT&T in 2022, did you or Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav meet with President Biden to discuss that transaction?
I'm not aware that there was any such meeting, no.
Have you or David Zaslav met with President Trump to discuss this transaction?
No, we have not.
Do you think there's anything inappropriate about meeting with the President of the United States to discuss a transaction?
I think in situations like this, all the parties involved often reach out to anyone in government that has an interest in the transaction. So I don't think it's unusual.
What about Skydance? They were able to close a deal with Paramount last year, right around concurrent with the time that they paid President Trump $16 million to address the president's grievances about a 2024 60 Minutes interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. Does that strike you as appearing improper?
Yeah, that was obviously not a decision we were involved with.
I'm asking you just under oath, what do you think?
It was unusual, yes.
So I believe that antitrust laws should be applied objectively. They should follow the facts. But we're in an unprecedented, or you might call it, as you used your word, unusual environment right now, where we see private organizations from universities, law firms. We're seeing corporations begin to come and make deals with the President of the United States, whether it's contributions to his ballrooms, whether it's giving him information that he is in this deal, then goes out and buys stock in those corporations. We're seeing people offer pro bono services. All it seems to be currying favor with the President of the United States, who is exercising, as using your words, unusual sway over these deals. That strikes you as a concern, correct?
We are staying focused on the regulatory process.
I understand you're staying focused on that, sir, but so many people are staying focused on their narrow concerns, and they're missing the larger erosion of our democracy. Antitrust, as presidents have said in the past, is an erosion of our democracy, of the free markets, of the ideals and the principles that are very much at the center of this hearing. We are, in my opinion, in a constitutional crisis right now when you have a president who is pocketing literally hundreds of millions of dollars from the very people that he is able to make decisions about the destinies of their companies. Mr. Sarandos, it was reported that you met with the President Trump, for more than an hour on November 24th, which was less than 2 weeks before Netflix announced that it won the bidding war to acquire Warner Brothers, within days that the President of the United States bought a significant amount of your stock. The reporting indicates that much of the conversation covered Netflix's bid to buy Warner Brothers, and that you left the meeting with the impression that President Trump wasn't opposed to the deal. What did the president have to say in that meeting about the proposed transaction?
Senator Booker, I can't speak to the reporting because I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I will tell you that I have met with the president a few times. We have talked about the state of the entertainment industry in general, production economy, runaway production, the value of incentives, the cost of tariffs, all the different ways that we can protect and create American jobs. I think it's wholly proper for the President of the United States to talk to leaders of industry about the industries that they're running.
The deal was not discussed. The merger deal was not discussed at all in the meeting?
Of course, he asked for what was going on, how was the deal going. I gave him some general overview of what we were doing, and that was it. It was a very small part of the entire meeting. It was not a meeting specifically to talk about the deal.
Did you feel that President Trump wasn't opposed to the deal?
I got a feeling the president was very interested in protecting American jobs and American labor and American industry, and that's what we were talking about.
You think his intentions in the case of this deal are just noble and objective?
I think the president, from my experience, has been nothing but interested in protecting and creating American jobs and
The
protecting
president has
American
stated
industry.
that he would be involved in the decision-making about the merger. Do you think it's appropriate for the President of the United States to be involved in a Justice Department merger review?
I have confidence in this case on the merits and that it will be run by the Department of Justice.
But that's not what I asked. I asked you is, do you think it's appropriate for the President of the United States to be involved in a merger review?
I don't know if he's involved or not. So what I'm saying is that this merger stands on its merits and will be reviewed by the Department of Justice, and that is the proper channel.
Do you think it's appropriate for the President of the United States to buy stock in a company that's going through a merger that's going to be reviewed by the Justice Department, in which he says he will be involved in?
Yeah, I really cannot comment on the president's personal finances. I don't know.
I think you could comment on whether you think it's appropriate. What about me? I've told you before, I sold my Netflix stock when I came to Washington. Was that appropriate that I did that?
I think any kind of trading like that would be definitely worth questioning.
Would be inappropriate for me right now to be in this hearing as my position to be trading in stock.
I think no one with insider information should be trading stock.
So why is it hard? Wouldn't you agree then that the President of the United States?
I don't know that he bought stock or I've heard him reporting all day.
But it would be appropriate if he did do that, yes?
I don't think anyone with access to private inside information should be trading in the stock.
Do you think merger reviews should be in any way political?
No, I do not. I believe that they should be overseen by the Department of Justice and to protect consumers.
I think that's one of the core challenges we have right now in our country is that we have major society impacting mergers like this being done by a Justice Department, overseen by a president who seems to take personal tribute, whether it's people settling ridiculous legal cases from media companies, where he and his family get direct payouts from those companies, where he's literally buying stock within days of having private conversations that were not public with leaders like yourself, where the president has insinuated time and time again that these are not for the independent Justice Department, but are for him. That is clearly happening in the context where we have a corrupt political system where nobody on this dais or the people behind you in the public know whether you've made contributions to political organizations because we don't have disclosure laws that would allow us to even know if corporations like yours are contributing to the very politicians who seem to be wanting to exercise sway over the process.
I got to show you, Senator Booker, there was no request or any offer that had anything to do with this deal in that conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I take your word at it because I've said multiple times, you're a person of remarkable integrity, and I've found you that way. But I think the larger problem here we have is that corporate power is growing in the United States of America in a staggering way, creating disparities of wealth that are unconscionable, even unimaginable just a generation ago, and where that wealth and that power are being exercised in a way that is indicative of crony capitalism, where people have access to the president of the United States, overtly give him millions and millions of dollars while he's overseeing decisions that affect the very culture of our country. We are in a distraught moment as corporate power grows, as consolidation continues, where those who make decisions don't even hide their corruption anymore, where even the two of you before me are saying that these things are, quote, unusual or even unacceptable. It's being done in open air. The President of the United States is trading in your stock, and he is telling us clearly that he is going to hold sway over these decision-making. I tell you, and I've told you, that I'm hearing from parties who are expressing fear, and that fear comes not just from their self-interest, but about what our society is spiraling towards as wealth becomes more concentrated, as corporate power and their ability to sway the decisions of politicians becomes greater and greater. how politicians on both sides of the aisle in this body, in the House of Representatives, and clearly the White House, trade on insider information, trade stocks, make profits off of moments like this. It should anger every American that they want balls and strikes called by a Justice Department. But merger after merger, it seems like the interests of the people are not being served. I am grateful for the two of you coming here. I said at the top, it's not an easy thing.
Thank you, sir.
And it's in a context that is not of your making that should rightfully merit the ire of a nation, that we have a country that's becoming this overtly corrupted. I pray, because the stories, especially Ted, that you've told, are what my life has been about. I'm here because my father sat in a segregated balcony as a child watching a movie about a man in a place that looked like a planet far away from him. Never seen anything like it before. It was a place called Manhattan. And he watched a salesman make extraordinary success out of his wit and his strength of personality. And my father said he would never have imagined as that little black boy in a segregated theater would one day be IBM's first black salesman in this whole region, and then literally move his family, move me, a 2-month-old, to New Jersey. And he used to tell me, watch art. Watch the artists. And so my dad grew up in a very different capitalist system than we have right now. IBM back then, their allegiance wasn't just to shareholders. Their allegiance, the stakeholders they saw were their workers, were the communities in which they had plants. The disparities of income weren't what they are now. The corporations weren't considered people by our Supreme Court. They couldn't influence our politics like we see now. And so I just want to thank the chairman. He has been a great partner. I take it at your word, the affirmations you've made today. I worry about our society, though, and I worry about the context in which this merger is going to be evaluated by actors I do not think are independent and that brandish their corruption with bravado, brag about their wealth. We have to stop what's happening in America right now. The trends are disastrous, but that does not fall in the laps of two companies that are trying to imagine something better, perhaps. So I want to say that there'll be questions from me for the record. I think it's really important that we gather as much information as possible. I do not trust this administration in their evaluations, and I just pray to God that everything that you all hope might come should this move forward, that you all have attested to, comes to pass, because I remember that one song sung by a patron saint of New Jersey. The poets around here say nothing at all. They just stand around and let it all be. If we lose our poetry, if we lose our art, if we shut out artists, I worry about people like my dad who are now kids looking for some seed of inspiration that can fuel their dreams so that they can create an America beyond that which we can see right now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator.
To my knowledge, Netflix isn't in poetry yet, but maybe that's coming soon. Poetry streaming could become a new thing. If anybody can find it, perhaps you guys will get there. I appreciate both of you coming. We've had a lot of good information exchanged today, and we will keep the record open for a week, whereupon it will close at that point, and the hearing stands adjourned.